Hey, good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Thursday to everyone. Today we have a great show and we have our first animal guest on today. Today we'll be talking with the owner of Apple Paws Dog Training, Sarah Lyn.
Hi.
Welcome. Can you go ahead and bring your mic just up a little bit?
That better?
Towards your face. Yeah, there
Right
you
here.
go. Yeah.
All right.
So good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm great.
Good, good. And who do you have with you?
This is Cody. He's my first dog. He's 7 years old as of Monday. And he's the first dog that I've had that was trained all the way through.
Ah, okay.
So what that means is he is fully behaved, also knows a bunch of fun tricks, and he can go out in public with me because we know he's going to do exactly what I ask him to.
Wow. Okay. And how long did it take to fully train him?
It really depends on the dog, but him, it took a couple of months, and then the fun stuff, a couple of years.
Okay. Yeah, he looks pretty excited.
He says, well, I'm living my best life here.
That's true. That's true. If we could all live that dog's life, then we'd be in good shape.
Yeah, he's loving it. He's a good boy.
Yeah. So how did you get into dog training?
So I grew up kind of working with horses, dogs, goats, all the things.
Oh, okay.
I first worked with my original corgi when I was little. She was, I got her at 6 weeks, and I don't even remember how old I was. I was little.
Oh, okay.
But I did most of the fun stuff with her because I was just a kid. I just want a fun dog at that point.
Sure.
So she did the sit, bang, roll, all the fun things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then after that, the horses. So I trained my barrel horse. Her name was Brandy. She started off, she's like, I don't want to do nothing you're asking me to do. And after that, I got her to run the barrel pattern kind of without asking at that point. So we get in the arena. She says, okay, let's go.
So with the horses, is it mostly you're reinforcing their training with treats also?
Not necessarily with treats. They're more praise. So
Okay.
you're sitting on the horse about here. And so, yes, good girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And with the dogs, is it more treats? Or?
It really depends on the dog. He is the definition of food motivated, so he will take anything you give him.
Me too, Cody. Me too. Wow, okay. All right. And you said your first dog was trained to sit and do some different things. Did you train that dog to do that?
So I definitely had help because, again, I was little. And that's where my mom jumped in, and my grandpa trained 1 or 2 canine units. He was in the police force.
Aha, okay.
So lots of influence there.
Yeah, so now we're getting into your influence.
Yes.
Wow. And where was this? Was this in Tucson?
Yeah,
or?
Tucson. He was a part
okay.
of TPD.
Aha, okay. That's so cool. I love the dog units, the canine units with TPD.
Yeah. It's hard for me not to be like, hi, puppy, all the time.
Yeah, you can't really pet those dogs.
Yeah, I'm like,
they're on the job, though.
Exactly.
And they're so well-trained and professional.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes we're watching things like on the airport security, and the dogs are sniffing out the different luggage and stuff. And I look at my dog and say, well, why can't you do that? Why aren't you earning a living?
Yep. Dogs can really be trained for anything. Of course, dogs are bred for certain jobs.
You have some different breeds of dog that are better at different jobs, right?
Yes. So he was bred for herding, but he also has the beagle in him. That's why he's got the floppy ears. So he's multi-purpose. And so he'll really do anything I ask him to. My Pyrenees, though, he would not do anything I asked unless he got until he got his goats. So then he was like, oh, I get to guard these things. This is the best thing ever. And then happy dog is going to perform.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a dog. I have boxers. I've had boxers for a long time.
Crazy dogs.
They are. There's so much energy, especially the first 3 years of their life. They're just like on
the
crack.
puppy energy.
Yeah. But we got this dog. She was almost 2. She was like a year and 11 months. And she is the happiest dog I've ever had. And I've had dogs my whole life since I was just a little tiny kid. But she has come to us, and she is just the happiest dog that I've ever seen. I I think she's the happiest dog on the planet.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have like a mean bone in her at all.
Yeah, I know a lot of dogs like that, actually. They're the best dogs to work with. They say, okay, what are we doing?
Right, exactly. Like, I'm excited that I'm up today.
Yes. Yeah. One of my students, her name is Bailey, and she's exactly like that. She says, what are we doing? What do you want me to do? I get pets? Okay.
Right. Yeah. And she is definitely, I mean, we haven't trained her at all. And I'll take 100% fault for that, because she's just kind of my like little perfect angel and does nothing wrong. I mean, she doesn't. I
do all the good things.
Yeah. She, when we first got her, she was chewing a little bit on stuff. I think she was just a little bit bored. Yeah. But I mean, she doesn't do many things wrong. She's just a good dog, just a good, happy dog.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Not every dog needs intensive training, but every dog needs direction, if that makes sense.
Right. And she's learned, different commands, get out of the kitchen and different stuff that she knows. Direction. Yeah, exactly. Now, our older boxer, he was abused.
Oh.
And we got him when he was about 3.5. And so he was, when we rescued him, he was in that defense mode. He was like,
oh yeah.
Do I need to fight for my life? What am I doing here?
Are you going to come at me? What am I doing?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think they're actually using him as a training dog for fighting, for other dogs to train with. Yeah, he has a bunch of scars and stuff all over him. So
big sad.
He was pretty had those issues. What rightlessly so.
Like that's conditioning, unfortunately.
Yeah. But now he's older. He's over 10. He's about 10 and a half. So he's a really good dog now. He's really mellow now.
He says, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. He's had a good 7 years.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. But I was talking with you yesterday at breakfast, and you said that you can even train older dogs.
Oh yeah. So my boyfriend, when we got together, had a 12, maybe 14-year-old. She was lab pit Ridgeback.
Oh, okay.
All kinds of dog in one.
Right.
She had never once been trained. She kind of ruled the house. She did whatever she wanted. And he says, oh, you're the trainer. And she says, what?
Right.
We have to do that? And when we put her down at 16, she knew all the things: sit, place, off, out, leave it, all the regular manners cues.
Mm-hmm.
And he was astonished. He's like, she didn't want to do anything you asked. And it took a while, but we have to undo the learned habits. And that's why people say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Right. You absolutely can. You just have to put in extra effort.
Ah, so there's hope for me. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, cool. And so sometimes do you get a dog that's like a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more defensive?
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes dogs are like, no, that's mine. I don't know you. We're not playing this game.
Okay.
So you gotta be more gentle, a little slower, more understanding at that point.
Wow. So you're almost like a counselor to these dogs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm a dog therapist.
Yeah, exactly. Dog whisperer is probably a popular phrase. I mean, you've heard horse whisperers and dog whisperers. So are you taking on any other animals besides dogs? We talked about horses before.
Not at the moment. Kind of just starting out, figuring out dogs for the most part. And I mean, I've worked with all kinds of dogs, so I got most of it. But of course, I'm always learning. The day I stop learning is the day I go in the ground.
Good. So that's good. That is a great attitude, because I mean, that's an attitude that we should all take. No matter what we're doing or where we're at in life, we need to quit and keep learning, and just get better. Just get better as life goes on.
Once you stop progressing, you're stuck. You're done.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
That's true. And the world doesn't stop for anyone. So if you're standing still, you're actually going backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are some of the lessons that you've learned already? I mean, you have a fairly new business. You opened in February?
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the lessons that you've learned early on in these few months?
Oh boy. So actually my Pyrenees was a great teacher for me.
Okay.
I could not understand why he wasn't working with me. because I was doing all of the things exactly by book. I would tweak it a little bit, maybe to how he liked it, maybe to how it worked better for me. Nothing.
Okay.
He would
He was a rebel.
not potty train for the life of him. And I'm like, baby dog, what are you doing? He wouldn't crate train either. And so crate train, schedule feeding, and potty training kind of all mixed together. None of those things would he do.
Wow. Okay. And how old was he when you started training him?
11 weeks.
So he's just a little puppy.
Yeah, just a baby. So I understand the potty training.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's where he's at. But the other two things generally get picked up pretty quick at a young age.
Okay.
Not having it. It was pretty funny, actually. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't understand. And my boyfriend's like, why can't you fix the dog? I'm like, what are you talking about? He won't fix. So working with him was a big learning curve, learn some patience.
Yeah. I bet.
So we learned crate training, you have to constantly be proactive about it. And so he goes in there, he gets a snack. He comes out, he goes back in by choice, he gets a snack. We close the door, he gets a snack. We walk away, we come back, he gets a snack. So he likes the snacks, he just doesn't like the food. Now, not every dog needs snacks, right? And so praise, like, yes, good boy, you're such a good dog. And, people are like, why you got to talk like that? It's exciting. They understand the vibes and the, sir. Nice good boy.
I think Cody got excited.
Cody said, yay, what did I do? Good boy. Oh, the wiggle tail. I know.
So every dog is going to be a little bit different for you.
Oh, yeah. No dog is the same ever.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. I will always be learning. I will learn your dog. I'll learn maybe that dog. And every dog is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the dog that you started training at 11 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. How old is the dog now?
He is 5 months.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, he got really, really sick. And so we don't really know what's going on with him right now. But hopefully he's going to be okay and he's going to go back to doing all the things, living his best life.
Yeah. You think maybe part of him rebelling against some of the training was because maybe he was sick, he was starting to get sick, or?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I think maybe the goats brought something over. Hoping not, but we'll see what he's got and how he's doing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick sponsor break and we will be right back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more. We're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple weeks. Planning a special event? They've expanded their catering menu and are offering 15% off all catering orders through May 31st. Just use the code GRAD25 at checkout.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. Routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back, Southwest Flavor. We're talking to Sarah Lyn with Apple Paws Dog Training. So tell us a little bit about what a typical day looks like for a dog trainer.
Oh boy.
Or is there no typical day? Is every day kind of different?
Every day is totally different. Every dog is totally different. So let's say I have 3 or 4 dogs in a day. Let's say I have 1 dog in a day.
Okay.
It can vary all the time. Sometimes I have dog, and sometimes I have dog.
Uh-huh.
So
tell us about like a 4-dog day where it's kind of everyone's lined up. You know, everything kind of has to go right for that day to fall in place.
So generally classes run a little bit longer than they're scheduled for, and it's never an exact schedule. And so I have to schedule maybe an hour apart or
a little buffer
45
time.
minutes apart.
Yeah.
So one class is typically 45 minutes. I also offer a 1 hour and a 30-minute class.
Oh, okay.
But because the packages are 45 minutes each, that's generally what happens. And so we schedule the 45 minutes, and then I put an extra 45 minutes between classes. And the reason classes go over is because maybe there's some lingering questions. Maybe I didn't communicate something properly, or maybe the dog's just not getting it.
Oh, okay.
And so we got to make sure that the pet parent understands, or the dog mom or dad understands what they're going to go home and practice, and that the dog gets it.
Okay. And you pretty much always have homework. The parents have homework, and the parents have to be all in also.
Correct.
They have to be there working with the dog, and it's not just a 45-minute class and everything's perfect after that.
Right. So dog training is a constant practice. It's an expectation that is set and does not change. Okay. Otherwise, the dog's going to be like, I can do this all the time.
Sure. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. And just like with little kids, they're going to test the boundaries. They're going to see how far they can go.
Oh, yeah.
But also you don't want the dog to be confused, right?
Right.
So you want to set that standard.
Yes. So if the dog says this every time, it makes sense for the dog. They say, okay, this is how it goes. But if it's this, maybe not this, but this, they're going to be like, so I only have to do it sometimes? What if I choose never? How about that?
So, how long? I know that you have 45-minute sessions, but what's the duration usually of a dog training?
So with the 45-minute sessions, it can vary anywhere between an hour to an hour and a half, really.
Okay. But I mean, like, is it like an 8-week program usually?
Oh,
or,
so we have a 4-week, a 3-month, and a 6-month.
Aha.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what do you usually see, like with the younger dogs? Is it usually a shorter period of time, or?
It really depends on how old the dog is. Dogs really aren't ready to learn until about 10, 11 weeks, maybe even later than that, depending on how excited the puppy is. Generally about 6 months to a year is when they're really starting to, okay, I want to do this. This is the fun stuff.
Okay.
However, if they're younger and this is the expectation that's set, period, end of story, they're going to pretty quickly grasp onto it.
Okay. So if someone brought you like a really young dog, you would tell them we need to wait a little while?
So I might start them off depending on how the dog is. We do a meet and greet so I can evaluate where the dog's at and if we can all work together. Of course, not everybody can work with everybody, right?
That's true.
And so I'm not going to sign somebody up for a non-refundable class if they're not going to be able to work with me.
Yeah.
And so where the dog is at really depends on the thing, not the age.
Okay. All right. I can see that. And so you're doing your meet and greet with both the parents and the animal.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just met with a Springer Spaniel the other day, and he's 6 months, and he's exactly where we want him to be. So 6 months to a year is generally a good place to be. However, younger, some dogs are a little more, I guess, mature at younger ages, so it really depends.
Okay. Is there any difference between males and females with the maturity?
So
I know with us, we don't mature, till we're probably about 80. So
females like to think for themselves more often than not. And so they're generally a little more difficult. However, the age thing doesn't vary very much. It's just dogs are where they want to be.
Okay.
Males generally want to please more. And so they're going to be like, oh, what are we doing? We're having fun? Okay.
That's kind of why I like boxers so much. They're
always
goofy.
Having fun.
Yeah. They want to have fun. They want to play with you. They're great with the kids. We've always had, great experience with them. I think we've had 6 boxers over the last.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've had some rescue dogs, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. We've had only one from a puppy.
Okay.
And the rest of them, like one of them we got him when he was probably like 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The lady was moving to Houston. She couldn't take him.
Oh.
He was a big dude. He was a great dog. He wasn't abused or anything. I mean, he was really loved dog. He was like 110 pounds, so he's a big guy.
Big dog.
And we had a 105-pound boxer at the time, and
wow.
And they're both males. And we're like, all right, how are you guys going to get along? So she brought them over to see if they'd get along, and they just ran around the yard for like a half an hour. Yeah, just playing. So we're like, okay. And so she just left them. She wasn't expecting to leave them that day, but they're having so much fun that she's like, well, I'm going to leave him. This is his home now. And she cried and everything. But,
yeah, of
but
course.
yeah, and he had a great life.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always say I get paid to play with people's dogs.
Yeah, you have one of the best jobs in the world.
Exactly. I'm like, that's all it really is playing with the dog. Now, the standard is set, and they're going to be playing, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to be like, oh, you made me think about that. I didn't even know I was thinking about that. And that's the best way to get them to understand generally.
So you're kind of talking their language, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're playing with them, you're interacting with them, and you're not just yelling a command at them.
Right. I don't want to make a dog upset. I don't want to argue with the dog.
Yeah.
So we're going to sit here and play a game, and they're going to figure out, oh, this is how we play that game. This is the rules.
And then this is what I get if I do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you're always giving them that positive reinforcement.
Yes. So not always snacks. Sometimes you sit, you get the toy that you're looking for. Sometimes you sit, I'm going to throw it, and you get to run. And that's the fun stuff. Very
cool. Well, tell us how we can find you if we need some dog training.
So my...
Uh-oh.
That's the personal phone. They can wait. I forgot where we're at.
How do people reach out to you if they want some dog training?
Yeah. So my website is www.applepaws.fit.
.fit. Okay.
Yeah, FIT. So you actually have to type it into the... I don't know you. You can wait.
Probably about your car warranty.
Right? You have to type it into the URL. It's not really easily findable. I'm still working on the SEO things.
Okay.
If you search Apple Paws, it's going to bring up cat food, and you have to specifically switch it to Apple Paws dog training.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks, Cody.
Cody, you want to say bye? Hi, good boy.
All right. We will be back in just a couple minutes. We're going to visit some sponsors, and we'll see you at Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple weeks. Planning a special event? They've expanded their catering menu and are offering 15% off all catering orders through May 31st. Just use the code GRAD25 at checkout.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. Routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
welcome back to Southwest Flavor. Our next guest is Lance Anthony from Anthony Spices. Welcome.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Thank you for driving from Phoenix this morning to come down here.
No problem. I was just in the area. We make deliveries down here all the time. So.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you have quite a lineup here. I think we can see it on the... There you go. You have different rubs, seasonings. You have the cheese balls, the Carolina Reaper cheese balls. You have your hot sauces.
Yeah, this is just a small fraction of what we've got. I just kind of grabbed on the way out what I could grab. But we have about 33, 34 some odd flavors and variants of stuff.
I know you have some wing sauce also.
Wing sauce. We've got 5 different flavors of rubs: chicken, beef, pork, sweet heat, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Santa Maria, we've got steak seasoning. Santa Maria is my best. I use that on everything.
Yeah. I use steak seasoning on pretty much everything.
That's the one thing is I kind of messed up by calling it steak seasoning because everybody was like, I don't eat a lot of steak. And I'm like, well, subtitle goes great on everything.
Yeah.
Chicken, pork,
right.
Seafood. So, yeah. We started in 2002, so this is actually our 23rd anniversary.
Right. Was it in May or?
It's in May.
Okay.
May of 2002 we started, so we're having a 23rd anniversary sale going on now on our website.
Okay. What's the website?
AnthonySpices.com.
Okay.
And you get 23% off when you buy 4 or more products.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, geez, if we keep going, 24th anniversary, 24%, and I keep going back and forth, it's like, I'm going to keep that going, I guess.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
So I kind of started this business out of my garage, just dehydrating jalapenos and grinding them with an old antique grinder.
Wow.
Bottling them up and went to the farmer's market, which is a store in Guadalupe.
Okay.
And they started selling it. And to be honest with you, they were like, what's the price on it? And it was just basically the jalapeno. And we started then with the chipotle and then the habanero.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, what's the price on it? And I just threw out a number.
Uh-huh.
That sounds good. And to be honest with you, from 23 years ago, that price then is only 25 cents more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now.
Yeah.
And it's like we make a point not to increase our prices.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, we kind of go to that certain point that we know what the retail value should be, and that's what we, And there's a lot of companies out there that jack their prices up because, there's a lot of work and there's quality. And I'm like, well, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But, we only take a certain profit margin.
Right.
And which is the way any company should be. You shouldn't be gouging people. You should be selling a product.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another. We started winning national awards and started doing trade shows and started doing all sorts of stuff. And of course, I couldn't do that out of my garage anymore. So,
right. Yeah. That was a good problem. You started growing.
One of the first companies that called us was the Desert Botanical Gardens. Got in their gift store.
Okay.
And what we did was we had a write-up in the Arizona Republic in the food section. The headline, it's a dry heat for chili entrepreneur. And I'm like, Now this is like about 2 years after I started it officially.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, it's a dry heat. So I trademarked that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's great for our desert. I mean, that's what we always say. It's only a dry heat.
Yeah, it's okay. So we just kind of, one of the things, now I was working full time as a civil engineer at the time.
Aha. Okay.
So I was doing this before work, on my lunch hour, after work. So it was eating up all my time. And we started picking up more and more stores especially from the article. Got into Whole Foods right away. They actually contacted me, and I was like, oh yeah. And they were like, we were doing this whole local thing, and so we got in them. Of course, at this point now, I'm like, I can't be making it at home. So I found suppliers, found co-packers, professional labels not printed on my company's color Xerox machine.
Yeah,
and I guess humble beginnings, and we just started any profits that we made. I told myself, because I had a full-time job, I told myself any profits we make on the company is going to be put right back into the company.
Right.
And that's pretty much true today. So we keep expanding our flavors and getting some more printers and, that type thing. So the company is doing pretty good. Now my 3-car garage is full of inventory. So I've got my research and development there. I've got inventory, shipping department. It's a receiving department. Of course, in the office, in the house, it's, the accounting. And
Right.
I wear all the hats pretty much.
Oh, wow. How many employees do you have?
I wear all the hats.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty much me. I've got I got a sales rep in Tucson sales rep. He takes care of all the stores down here. I take care of all the stores in the Phoenix.
So you're doing the sales rep up there too? Wow.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's a lot.
And delivery.
Yeah.
And shipping.
And accounting.
Well, I was doing the website, and turns out that a friend of mine did a lot of marketing and website design, and he was willing to, help me out and redesign the website like about a year ago. And we started, it looked professional at that point, because before it was me.
Oh, okay.
I was doing the website design, all that. Now it's like automated, and so
that's so important. I mean, a good website is huge to a business, and you're right in the thick of the business. You're doing everything basically. So it'd be really hard to do that aspect of it.
Yeah, especially when you throw a sale on there. I was like manually changing the price of each individual item. Oh, and now he can just go click, 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 click. Those will be on sale. Or let's do. I couldn't do promo codes before. Now we can promo. So the website development was a big factor. Something that really took a lot of weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of time from you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So. Now I just have to worry about, promoting and selling and filling orders, and of course, repeat customer base is number one priority.
Sure.
And we stand behind our service. I stand behind the company 1,000%.
Right.
There's no way that I'm going to let anybody be dissatisfied
with
our products. If they don't like it, I'll give you your money back. If with a new store we pick up, and usually they're mom and pop stores. Ace Hardware is one of them. They're all individually owned, so they can pick us up. Independently.
Yeah, up here on the northwest side of Tucson, there's an Ace Hardware that has all kinds of seasonings and hot sauces and everything.
I mean, one of their big sellers in Ace Hardware is selling grills. I mean, the big ticket items. Of course, with that, they've have all the accoutrements to go with it. So if we pick up a new store, I'm going to give them, the 90-day guarantee. If you're not happy with the sales, I'll buy it back.
Right, sure.
I'll buy it back or replace with different product that you think might sell. So, so standing behind my product is, number one.
Yeah.
Number two is quality control.
Of course.
Well, should actually be the other way around. But no, so... so it's been an adventure so far.
Yeah. What got you into this? I mean, you're in your garage, you're making these different seasonings, you're grinding your own chilies.
Well, me and my wife like spicy food, jalapenos specifically. So we would go to Diamondbacks games all the time.
Oh, okay.
And we get their nachos, and you get about 40 chips, and you got your little cheese thing, which always runs out, and your little thing of jalapenos. So you got about 20 jalapenos to 40 chips. The ratio is horrible.
Yes.
So, we like one jalapeno for each chip. And, there's only 20 chips. Like, we can't finish it. And so I was like, there's got to be a better way, because one of the, in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's something that's got to be a better way. So I'm like, so I started experimenting with, drying the jalapenos, grinding them, old antique grinder in my garage, and bottling them. And it was one of those things that it now becomes a shelf-stable product that is used just like table pepper. And one of the things I say is like, you can, instead of buying a pizza with jalapenos and getting charged like $3 or whatever they charge now, you can just, put a light dusting of jalapenos there. Every bite you get a jalapeno now. So it's, and it's like I said, it totally replaces what I would say table pepper.
Yeah.
And you get, the flavor, and you get Chipotle, you get the smoky flavor. Hatch, you get the nice, chili pepper flavor. Right. Habanero gets a little warm on that side.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So I just kind of like, when I sold it back to the Guadalupe Farmers Market, and they're like, okay, here's the price. And they're like, oh, that sounds great. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Did I price it right? Yeah.
Obviously I did. So it started selling, got the article, and I realized the profit margin on it was like so good that I could take, whatever profits and put it back into the cup. So I started doing that whole thing, and building up inventory. And once we found, co-packers and, suppliers and all that everything kind of fell in line as far as like the pricing didn't change because now we're doing quantity instead of, the smaller batches.
Yeah.
Instead of me buying, I was buying these little bottles from Walmart. Because I was able to talk to the manager there and get bottles, in the case.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And now, we're buying pallets of
you're
bottles.
Getting thousands.
We're getting thousands and thousands. So the profit, the price goes down obviously the more you buy. And using a co-packer and a supplier that instead of like so much per pound per jalapeno, now it's like the price because we're doing 500-600 pounds of say the jalapeno specifically, or the hatch or the habanero at a time, that the price starts dropping at that point.
Sure.
Of course, my supplier on the chili pepper side, I thought he was a competitor at one of the
like a farmer's market, or
well, no, I thought he was a competitor at the trade show in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Fiery Foods show. And it turned out to be my biggest.
Your biggest supplier?
Biggest supplier.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that they own 40,000 acres and all they do is grow chili peppers.
Wow.
And, the stuff we need. And they dry them and grind them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it turned out, it's like, I thought he was a competitor. And it's like, no, it's like, it turned out to be the biggest thing that we could do. So, yeah. And so we're all natural, no MSG. Everything in our bottle is natural. You're not going to find. In fact, we don't even use the silicone dioxide because it's like, oh, that doesn't sound natural.
Okay.
Because that's
what is that? Is that to keep everything apart?
Yeah,
so
that's
it doesn't
the anti-caking. But it's like I tell people, it's like, hey, listen, you know how you get anti-caking?
Yeah.
That works every time.
Right. Yeah, I've never had a problem with any of your seasonings.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you use them.
Yeah. Oh, we've used them for years and years. I'm not even sure how we found you, but
well, a lot of people say that.
Yeah. But I know I get your newsletter and get all the sales and different things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I stumbled upon you from the beginning, but
well, that's the one thing we don't really advertise or go out of our way marketing. So. Everything is word of mouth. And the weirdest part was we went to a Halloween party one year, and this was probably about 3 or 4 years after I started the company, and we were selling in the markets and stuff. And we were at a friend's house who I didn't know these people. My wife kind of knew them, their work relationship or whatever. And so they were like, oh yeah, can you grab some seasonings? And they didn't know I was Anthony Spices. And I opened the cupboard. I'm like, oh, well, there's our product. and they were like, oh, I love that stuff. And it's like, they just started. I'm like, yeah, that's my company. And they were like,
oh, wow.
So it was that's
a great feeling too.
It is a great feeling.
Yeah.
That was like kind of like the, the slap in the face, like, hello.
Yeah.
This may work.
Yeah.
So eventually I ended up quitting my day job when I realized that I was making more money on the side gig than my, engineering job.
Right.
So, we had a heart talk with my wife, and it was like, hey, I was thinking if I decided to go this route, put me on your insurance and all that stuff, and I think that I can double our sales in the next 2 years. Well, we did that, and then the next 2 years we doubled our sales. So it kind of like.
So what was your strategy to double your sales?
Knocking on doors, going to the stores and promote, or talking to the manager or the buyers of the stores, and at the time I did have my Tucson sales rep, and he started aggressively doing, because he had a part-time gig as well.
Okay,
so he was doing 2 part-time gigs.
So it was all just grassroots, basically, knocking on doors, shaking hands, maybe leaving a sample or something.
Leaving samples of what you think what that demographics would sell best, type thing. And, and following up, and then, just basically talking to the people and saying, here's, in your area, you're going to be the only store within 2 miles or 4 miles, kind of
Kind of the exclusive thing.
Yeah, kind of like, listen, you know, you're going to be the only one. Here's, you know, our record for sales, and give them the guarantee and that type thing. And and sure enough, you know, they may not start out with a lot of flavors. In fact, you know, like I said, we have about 34 flavors,
right,
and varieties of products. So not every store is going to carry every product. Some stores do. You know, they make it a point to carry every single one of our products, which I love those stores.
Yeah.
Because I can always say, you know, when somebody calls me or emails me or texts me, hey, listen, I'm in this area. What store is the best one? I tell them, go to that one that carries all the products.
They have everything, yeah.
They have everything.
Right.
So, yeah, so grassroots and, you know, just trial and error.
Wow. Very cool.
Over the years, there's been a lot of mistakes.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't make mistakes, you're not learning.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some of the mistakes, they were costly, but they didn't, you know, turn us upside down. In fact, there was one point that I was like, I'm done.
Really?
I was like, I'm so done with this that I got to get out. And it turned out once I had that rationalization of what I need to do, and I need to, you know, take a loss on something in order to progress, then once you get to that point, you're kind of like, okay, I could see the you know, the light again.
Yeah, yeah. This part didn't work, so we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah,
we're going to keep going forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
well, cool. Let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back in a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Looking for a delicious meal or a place to cater your next event? Visit Tucson Tamale Market, located at 7286 North Oracle Road. They're a family-friendly restaurant and market offering authentic tamales and local products. Don't miss their summer bi-weekly specials. Try a new $10.99 meal special every couple weeks. Planning a special event? They've expanded their catering menu and are offering 15% off all catering orders through May 31st. Just use the code GRAD25 at checkout.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. Routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
All right, we are back. I'm talking with Lance Anthony of Anthony Spices, and he brought me a special treat. It is the Carolina Reaper cheese balls, and he's going to have me eat one or two of them here
That's
live
up to you.
on air.
How many? That's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to try one first. So,
well, let me give a little backdrop on it.
Okay,
first.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So, you know, what I call my garage is the research and development. So I was like, oh, we need to step it up. And, of course, we're all natural, so I'm not going to get into, the capsaicin oils and stuff like that, which a lot of companies do is just to make it super, super hot.
Right.
But, we still want flavor. And so I was like playing around with the cheese balls, and we coat them in the Carolina Reaper powder, and which in itself is very dangerous. Yeah, our co-packers, they have to, in a confined area with ventilation.
Right.
They wear the bunny suits and respirators and everything.
Okay.
Because this stuff gets in the air and it will make you.
I guess so. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're dealing with powders and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I was like researching and development in the garage, I'm like, oh, I got to wear the gas mask, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So I tried it, and so we started selling it like the 4th Avenue Street Fair. We used to do that, and that was turned into one of our biggest sellers because everybody wants to try the hottest thing you got.
Exactly.
And so it's we got onto Amazon, and really cool part with this is once you get on Amazon, you open up to millions of people the ability for that. And we started getting I would get like $5,000 worth of sales in one day. And I'm like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
So I started researching, going online, and of course, podcasts. Some of the guys that do reviews and stuff. And, this one reviewer had like 4 million followers. So they're like, oh, this is awesome. And so it was like the first reality hit. That's like, okay, I got to keep this supplied in there.
Yeah.
And just in case. So, it was kind of like one of those viral things that took off. And so
you were a trend.
Yeah, we trended for a while. And so everybody started doing their own, individual Instagram and YouTube channels and stuff like that. And so it took off, and it's still doing pretty well. So that's where we started with that, and that's kind of where we stand on that. So
okay.
It's still a pretty big seller.
Yeah.
Now, when you try it, you won't feel anything for about 5 seconds and then it kicks in.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's compared to the one chip challenge. The difference is when the one chip challenge, you are kind of forced because it's hard chip to chew it. That's why it will seem so much hotter. And when you chew it a lot and you swish it around in your mouth,
breaking it down. Yeah.
You're breaking it down. You're keeping the heat in your mouth for a long time. Now this, you can just pop one in your mouth and say, oh, that's not bad. Give it a little bit because it takes about 5 seconds to kick in. Then it'll be about it'll peak at about a minute and a half, and then it's all downhill from there.
All right, I'm going to try one. There it is, right there. Got good taste. Oh yeah,
you see,
it's starting to come. Yeah,
it'll just get a little hotter, and then you start feeling it in your chest when you
I
swallow.
do. Yeah. That's good.
Your face is you're gonna turn red there a little bit. You're gonna glow.
Get a little bit of sweat, going.
So
that is great, though.
Yeah, and it's not just a novelty item. I actually will take it and grind it up and put it on top of some baked mac and cheese.
Oh,
and, or
I do a really good smoked mac and cheese. So
well, there you go.
That would be good right on top.
Just a fine layer on top, because to be honest with you, cheese, ice cream, any dairy product will counteract the heat. So you could put a whole bunch on there, and the cheese and
kind of absorb some of it.
Well, it counteracts.
Okay.
It's kind of like hot water and cold water. You mix them together. You got lukewarm water.
Right.
So it's the same concept. That's why everybody's like, drink milk if you have something really hot. Well, milk is a dairy product. I recommend ice cream because it's colder. Same process, same idea.
I never say no to ice cream.
Oh God. Speaking of which, it was kind of funny because when I did this article in the Arizona Republic, and the reporter asked me, "What do you put your products on?" And I said, "Well, you put on everything." And it's like, and she goes, "Even the habanero?" I go, "Oh yeah, you put that on." Well, and then I was like, "Well, I've never heard it be put on ice cream." I started getting email after email. I put it on my ice cream.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you get that nice chili pepper flavor.
Yeah.
And the dairy product will counteract the heat, give it a nice medium.
I think on your website there's some recipes also, right?
We have several recipes.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that when I picked up my new web designer, how's that heat, by the way?
Oh, it's starting to subside though. It's not too bad. I haven't taken a drink yet.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so when the web designer comes up and I said, "Here's the recipes I used on my old website," and so he integrated those into the new website. Of course, made them look a lot better. And then AI is amazing.
Yes, yeah.
So AI is so cool, and I didn't know this. This is his forte. Is you put the recipe in and how you cook it and all this other stuff, and AI will spit up a photo quality picture of it.
Oh, wow.
Of your recipe.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're worth all the money I'm paying you.
So we're running out of time here. How do people get a hold of you? You brought some brochures in for us, but they can pretty much reach out to you digitally. And
I being the owner of the company, I always like to say I'm available 24/7. It's got my phone number on the brochure. It's got my phone number in the website. I prefer you email me.
Sure.
I won't take calls after like 10 p.m.
Yeah, of course.
But no, if anybody wants to look it up, go to anthonyspices.com. It's got it's pretty comprehensive as to where we started, where we're at, and even if you want to sell our products, in your store. That's the one thing in my brochure is if you have a store, you want to sell our products, and they go in any kind of store,
right?
Hardware to appliance parts store, and so it's not like a specific type of store. It can be in really any kind of store. So, the website's the best way to check it out. And like I said, right now we have a 23% off when you buy 4 products or more.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, that's been fun.
Have another cheese ball.
Yeah. All right. That's another episode of Southwest Flavor. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m., and we'll see you next week.